Did you know that for every person murdered by the Mafia, there are at least 2 people who try to escape it? And only 1 in 10 of those make it out alive? So without further ado, let's get started. His father, a low-level member of the Genovese crime family, was arrested in a police sting operation. The young man knew his father was involved in something big when he saw him counting bricks of cash at their kitchen table. After the arrests, word got back to other members of the Mafia, and soon he was getting threats from all sides. He knew immediately who they were. Despite being undercover, he kept his cool and played the handout. But when it was time to collect his winnings, the men refused to pay up. But the stress of the situation took its toll on him, and he began to suffer from panic attacks and other health problems. He's no longer in the construction business, but works as a consultant. First and foremost, he was smart. From the moment he realized that he was being followed, he took steps to protect himself. He went to the authorities and provided them with information that led to the arrest of several mobsters. This showed them that he wasn't afraid of them, and that he was willing to fight back. Second, he was lucky. If the FBI hadn't helped him move to Las Vegas, he might have been killed when the Mafia found him again. Similarly, if his son hadn't been rescued by the police, the Mafia might have used him as leverage to get him to cooperate. Finally, he was determined. No matter how many times the Mafia tried to scare him off, he refused to give in. He knew that if he did, his son would be killed. It was this determination that ultimately led to his success. He travels around the country helping other businesses with their construction projects. He managed to escape the clutches of the Mafia and live to tell the tale. He did this through a combination of smarts, luck, and determination. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, remember to take a page out of his book. Be smart, be lucky, and be determined. He's also active in various charities that help victims of crime. He's been married for over 20 years and has 2 children and 4 grandchildren. He knew he needed help, so he finally agreed to talk to a therapist about what he'd been through. Through therapy, he was able to come to terms with his past and put it behind him once and for all. A fight broke out, and in the ensuing chaos, the man managed to escape. What do you think this man did to escape the Mafia? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching. Till next time. He knew he couldn't stay in Las Vegas anymore, so he picked up and moved again, this time to Los Angeles. He knew he couldn't stay in New York anymore, so he contacted the FBI and with their help, moved to Las Vegas. There he started a new life, got married, had kids, and became successful in business. But the past has a way of catching up with us, and soon the Mafia found him again. And he turned informant after his dad was threatened with murder. If he did and pay $2 million, this meant that the whole family had to move to an undisclosed location in upstate New York. While living in fear of reprisals from the Mafia, he got a job in construction and eventually bought his own company. For a while it seemed like he had finally outrun his past. But then one day out of the blue, he received a phone call from an old friend. The friend told him that the Mafia was looking for him and wanted to make a deal. They wanted him to become an informant for them and provide information on the various law enforcement agencies he'd been in contact with. He knew it was a trap and refused. The Mafia then threatened his wife and children, hoping to force his hand. But he stood firm. In the end, the Mafia kidnapped his son, but even that wasn't enough to make him change his mind. The police eventually rescued his son and arrested several mobsters. And even though it was just a child, this experience left a deep impression on him, an impression that would stay with him for many years to come. You're probably wondering why these people would want to leave the Mafia in the first place, if it has such a dangerous thing to do. Well, they all have their reasons. Some want to protect their families from the criminal lifestyle. All seemed to be going well until one day when he ran into an old family friend. The man was a high-ranking member of the Genovese family and soon became suspicious of the young man's changed appearance. The young man tried to shake off the man's suspicions, but soon found himself followed and harassed. Eventually, he decided to go to the authorities. He knew that if the Mafia found out he was being watched, it would only confirm their suspicions and put him in danger.
Ow.
The FBI took his claims seriously and agreed to help him out.
Ow.
In return, they asked him to wear a wire and gather intelligence on the man who was following him. The information he provided led to the arrest of several mobsters, and the case against them was strong enough to put them away for life. Others are tired of the constant fear of death hanging over their heads. Still, others just want a fresh start in life. Whatever their reasons, what these people have in common is that they all made one thing very clear. They will not go back. Even if the Mafia comes knocking, they won't be going back. In today's video, we'll meet a man who successfully escaped the Mafia and is now living his life under a new identity. The turning point in this man's life came when he was only 16 years old. After graduating high school, he joined the army, served for 3 years, then returned home to attend college. But the young man's troubles were far from over. One night he was playing poker with some friends when a group of men walked in and sat down at the table. There he met a woman who would become his wife, and together they started a new life. He continued to live in Los Angeles, running his business and trying to put the whole Mafia ordeal behind him. Today, he lives a quiet life in Los Angeles. So how did he manage to escape the Mafia and live to tell the tale? In conclusion, this man's story is a remarkable one. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to escape the Mafia?